I don't slip up. Bounce the X5 like I'm driving with the hiccups. Damn, he had the nerve to go and Gucci the seats. And he keep his block flooded like a movie release.
Hand down, nigga, the game is all Jada's. Anything drop, I cop in all flavors. He's a dick, you pussy, y'all neighbors.
And my nickname is Hundreds of Rocks. On my neck, on my arm, in the bank, locked up in the box.
Jason Terrence Phillips, born May 27, 1975, aka Jadakiss. Why, after 26 years in the game, Jadakiss is just now getting love? Let's take it back. Don't worry, not too long ago. Let's just bookmark it and say, a week before one of the brightest and most exciting hip-hop moments in the last 10 years, the verses between the Lox and Dipset. Because just before then, a lot of people were asleep on the Lox, most importantly, Jadakiss, and for good reason. If you're a fan of hip-hop, of course you knew of Jadakiss, and he may have even snuck in your top 10 or 20, but in no way did he receive the flowers for his skills as an MC like today. After what he did to the Diplomats, a lot of spots have been cleared, and he's most certainly moved up, deservedly so. Because when you think of the essence and evolution of rap in the truest sense, an artist like Jadakiss is supposed to be feeling like he just won his second title and first back-to-back. It only took 40 some odd years, almost 30 in the game. But as they say, better late than never. Or, as Kiss would say,
I'm on Adderall.
You'd be hard-pressed to find an MC that's still in the game today with the pedigree for hip-hop like Jadakiss. New York, where it all started, battled his way into the eyes of who mattered, his words lasered onto a disc and passed on to one of the biggest urban labels of all time and in the hands of a guy that changed his life. His hood pass was stamped. As much as he was there, he may have even applied the ink himself. The Warlocks happened, the Warlocks shortened, and stars were born. He's even ghost wrote some of hip-hop's biggest songs ever. How's that for touching every base and stopping at every evaluation station to success? When it was time for Kiss to go solo, there was a lot of pressure. Sure, you can understand why with his history of anticipation just laid out for you. Add the heavily textured voice, one of a kind to him, the personality that was relatable enough that you don't see his chain and thought it'll look better on you, but shiny enough to let you know he was a somebody. After a gold debut and platinum follow-up and 5-year hiatus, Kiss fell to the audience as maybe all the hype for an artist who was understandably nice just didn't become a star like he was expected. None of his solo success since 2004 landed where expected and put Jadakiss on the level of top 5 dead or alive, even for his era. Until we've all realized, of course.
Desert is blue steel, the 40 is jet black. Bars, nigga.
Here's why. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man.
You ain't gotta second guess the best, I'm him. I will wrap circles around these new Urkels.
Jadakiss was born and raised in Yonkers, New York, and at a young age had to fend for himself as the only child and parents that wouldn't oblige his financial requests. He learned he could hustle on the street corner and make money, so that's what it was. Work stashed up the hill as he ran back and forth on the hamster wheel to neighborhood riches. Eventually, that hustle turned into realizing he could use the rhymes he was secretly working on and battle on the corner, winner take all. He met Styles P and Chic Luch, who were also local spitters, and formed an instant stay on the phone till 6 a.m. bond. Rhyming bars, of course. At just 12, he was discovered by Rough Riders and formed a group called the Warlocks. Mary J. Blige got a hold of their demo and gave it to Puff, and at 19, Kiss and the Warlocks were on their way. Stunt number 1, Maybe Not Dolo. If being featured on songs was the name of the game that got you rap success, Jadakiss would be Jay-Z right now. He always had a clean 16 for any song, at any time, at any place. When he's with the Lox, they created classic hit songs for self and others, but as a solo artist, maybe Kiss was not meant to be. Or maybe because of everything he'd built up to that point, raised the bar a bit out of reach. After the platinum-selling '98 release of Money, Power, Respect, the game couldn't wait for Jadakiss to announce his solo career. No disrespect to Styles and Chic, but you could tell Kiss possessed all the necessary ingredients to become the biggest rapper in the game as a ceiling going into the 2000s. He had arguably the best rap voice ever, was young and freshly signed to the most controversial label, Bad Boy. He had respect in the game to get any rapper on a record, or any move pushed he needed to make sure his hustle matched that ability. But still, it didn't work out as expected dolo in an era it should have easily translated. His debut, Kiss the Game Goodbye, released in 2001 behind the singles We Gonna Make It and my personal favorite Jadakiss single Knock Yourself Out, where my friends and I would pride ourselves on knowing each verse word for word, seeing who could flip the line, "Anyway, I'm K.I. Double the best," with whatever our childhood rap names were at the time. The album sold well, going gold and probably platinum in the upcoming weeks with all his recent success. But critically, it's been negatively rated for being, quote, repetitive and uninspired. Kiss owned up to this, saying the album wasn't built off inspiration, but as a contractual obligation to Bad Boy, so rushed and released. Either way, a solo debut as anticipated as this was should have been more focused on and delivered with utmost care. After leaving Bad Boy, he dropped his second album, Kiss of Death, June 2004, which went platinum, led by Grammy-nominated single Why, that caused major controversy for the line about the president knocking down the towers, followed by a hookup with Mariah Carey. Some say the album is Jadakiss's only classic, while most believe it was mid, even without his solo expectations. Stunt number 2, Too Many Breaks. For whatever reasons I'll attempt to explain, Jadakiss simply took too long between solo projects to even compete for the title of top hip-hop artist. Skill-wise, he was always one of the best rappers, but ascending in the game as only that is never enough. Some criticize Jadakiss for being lazy over his solo career, and that's why his name floated around but was never seriously considered at the top for most. He was also always seemingly transitioning from label situation to label situation that could have caused the delays. His third studio album, The Last Kiss, dropped 5 years after album 2 and made the rapper's third label situation, signing with Rockefeller Records after leaving Interscope after leaving Bad Boy. With the gumbo of artists The Rock had, I could see why getting an album out could be difficult, especially without a highly expected Jay-Z feature. I mean, that's the reason you signed to The Rock, no? Then again, years after the Rock breakup, what were they by then anyway, right? The Last Kiss ended a trilogy of perfectly executed titles playing off his stage name, but again seemed mid, receiving an average score of 61 of 100 Metacritic score. It was also sorely late due to pushbacks and overall mismanaged bouncing around from label to label over the years and not enough hits to cover what seemed like another rushed, obligated album. He'd leave another situation, Rockefeller, and sign directly to Def Jam and of course as well D-Block, and after 6 years released Top 5 Dead or Alive in 2015. His fourth album in 15 years. Yes, the album was also late, initially scheduled for release in 2013. Stunt number 3, repetitive. It was simple as that. The one argument against Kiss that reared its head over and over about his solo career. From the poppy rap radio tracks or same flow pattern, I think it made people underrate Kiss prior to 2021, and I can see that argument. The thing that made up for it for Jadakiss was again his one-of-a-kind voice and top-notch punchlines that made you think for a second and also made you laugh. This carried the fact Jadakiss couldn't consistently make chart-topping solo hits for his projects, lackluster beats, and subject matter that, while deep from time to time, didn't always put who the real Jadakiss was on full display. Yes, he had album cuts that did that, but connecting to who he was and how his audience could relate and grow with him didn't always show on songs that were pushed to the masses in a time without social media. His final album, released in 2020 called Ignatius, after his close friend who passed away in 2017, was again 5 years after his last and came off as him trying to reach for whatever straw could make a much needed hit with all the features and anything other than boom bap or soulful sound we all know Jadakiss would destroy should he make a full-length album in that direction. Instead, it was much of the same. If you heard one, you kinda heard them all. All in all, that's why I think after all this time, Jadakiss has been underrated and not seen for his greatness before he dismantled Dipset, almost single-handedly like a Kobe 81 or Jordan anytime he faced the Knicks. Kiss has moved into a lot of top fives over the last month, and you know what? I'm fine with that. He seems like a genuine person anyone can get along with, and he's as talented as we've ever seen. But for these reasons, his growth in music was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth, and I'm out.
Who the fuck y'all want? And who the fuck y'all need? And who the fuck gon' bleed? Cause none of them niggas, that's on mama love.